topic came about last week. I had the pleasure and the honor to speak at the Latino Style Business Series conference in Phoenix, Arizona, where lots of women from all over the country there, business owners or people wishing to start their own business. And I spoke to them about rediscovering themselves, staying just motivated in their efforts, and how important it is to have a sense of self-awareness when you are attempting to go to that next level in life. And after the conference, when I was at my table signing books, more than one participant came over and kind of shared different things, some of their challenges in business and the things they had been experiencing. And some of the sentiments echoed each other. One woman in particular was sharing how, her business is going well, it's successful, but she feels very sad because she's not getting support from her family. She's not getting the support or I guess even the accolades or their, way to goes from her family or what have you. And that's a common sentiment that I even have with my clients as well. Individuals who feel like that there's not a lot of support from either their family of origin or their significant other or even their friends when they are going out and achieving their goals or pursuing their particular passions in life. And because that seemed to be just a common theme, also there was a blog post that someone sent to me last week, and I'll discuss that a little later, that talks about the 5 reasons that your friends may not be applauding you, in your efforts. So I really wanted to just touch base on this topic because it seems like this is something that seems to be a common sentiment for many individuals out there. And many times, even myself, I felt unsupported in some of the things that I've done over the years. I've been speaking and doing workshops and things, and for the most part, family and friends have definitely been very supportive, and I appreciate that. But I can remember the first time, this was so long ago, probably about 13 years ago, that I had my first long-term radio interview on a major station here. And I was so excited. And I can remember going down and doing this 30-minute interview. And again, just, bursting at the seams, because for me, that was like the biggest thing that had occurred to me or for me at that point. And I can remember afterwards, the person that I thought, my partner at the time, who would be the most supportive. I can remember, reaching out like, wow, did you hear it? So excited, just ready to, I probably could have flown home with all the excitement that I had with me. And I can remember, a comment, something, I listened to the first few minutes and then I fell asleep, or, I was tired or what have you. And it was just like such a feeling of defeat, because you think about it, when we experience something that's so exciting, that kind of just moves us, we want others to experience that with us. You think about even if you go to a major sporting event and your team is winning, and just imagine if you're in that stadium. I think Tony Robbins used this example before. You're in that stadium by yourself and you're watching the game. It's not nearly as exciting as when you have a crowd around you and everyone can collectively experience just the excitement that moment brings. And I think for a lot of us who are out there, working and doing our things and going to the next level and making strides, it just feels so much better if you can share in that with others. But that's not always the case, that you'll be able to share it in, or the people closest to you, or the ones that you wish would be the ones to support that would be there for you. But before we even get to that, I found some articles online that kind of dealt with this topic. So there are a few questions that you should even ask yourself if you feel unsupported in relationships. And again, whatever relationship that is, friendships, your family relationships, whatever. But the 3 questions you could ask yourself is my story preventing me from receiving support? Is my story preventing me from receiving support? Now, think about individuals in your life who may not be the most pleasant people to be around. Or, if that may be you, think about yourself. There are people who have the same woe is me story all the time. And when you go around them, that's what you're going to hear. If you go around them, it's going to just be just one sad story or one defeat or one setback after another. And honestly, no one wants to be around a Debbie Downer all the time. So you have to ask yourself, is your story preventing others from giving the support that you may need because you're just seen as someone who is what they call a wet blanket, so to speak? So that's something to ask you. May not apply to any of you on the call or on Periscope here, because I honestly believe when people make the effort to wake up this early to receive some inspiration and motivation, that they tend to have a different direction in life. But it's something worth asking yourself. Number 2 is, am I reaching out to others for support? Are you one of those I can do it all? We talked about the superwoman syndrome before, so is that this belief system that you have that I don't need support? I've known many people over the years as clients, and I've known them in personal relationships, who are trying to go to the next level, but refuse to ask for help, refuse to ask for support. And support can just be asking someone's opinion who's done it before you, or suggestions just to get some guidance. There are some people who feel like it doesn't matter if I don't do it all myself. And so you have to ask yourself, are you reaching out to others for support? I can remember a friend years ago who planned herself a huge, celebration and birthday party, and really did not give out formal invitations or even verbal invitations to the people closest to her, because she just felt that they should come, that they would know to come, and just made that assumption. And honestly, little if no of those individuals, none of those individuals actually showed up, and she was devastated. And she spent, quite a long time after that being very resentful for that. But one of the things that I pointed out was you can't just assume. You never told these people or that it would mean a lot to you for them to come and support you. So are you reaching out? And I see Lena said, that's me, never asking for help. And it's important at times to be able to ask for help, because trust me, the people who want to help you feel honored to help you. And those of you on this line who have helped others in their endeavors, it feels good for the most part when you can help a person achieve whatever it is their goals are. So don't be so shy to ask for help or to reach out to others, as I said. And number 3, are you supporting yourself? Now, if you want people to support you, you have to present yourself as someone who is supporting yourself. Like, do you exemplify? Do you stand for a person who takes themselves seriously? If you're talking about you want to start a business, is that something that you've been talking about for years, but you're not putting any effort towards it? People oftentimes say, and I've heard people, you guys, I know I've heard people say this too, family, is not helping me, or nobody's helping me. But if you really look at that person, they're not even helping themselves. They haven't taken the first steps to do what's necessary for them to achieve what they want. And so if you are that person, or you just are presenting yourself to be that person, people are not really going to help people who really don't show the passion or enthusiasm with wanting to help themselves. Those of us in positions to help others, I've interned lots of students or supervised lots of interns over the years, and it makes a huge difference on how they approach you, the passion they show, the enthusiasm they show, and not just a fly-by-night, have their mother or father or someone else come and ask me about an internship. It's important for them to show the enthusiasm themselves. So those are just 3 questions to ask yourself. Now, if you can honestly say that you've done all of that, but wait a minute, one last one I want to share. Are the people you desire support from, are they capable of even supporting you? Now, what do I mean by that? There are some people, because of their own situation in life, circumstances, or what have you, just don't have maybe the motivation, time, or energy. And you can't take that personal. Maybe that person at that time is just not able to support you. It's oftentimes hard for a person when they see you making these strides and making these just accolades and achieving these goals if it's a reflection on what they've not been able to do themselves, it can be difficult for them to show the support, almost painful, emotionally painful for them. Or conversely, it could be a person who is just so tied up with life and themselves that they just cannot give you the level of support that you desire. And I know I've been guilty of that as well. And I don't even want to call it guilty, because it's not anything that I necessarily feel guilt for. But, over the years, having 4 children and being married, or a spouse, oftentimes people have a difficult time understanding that you may not have 2 hours to talk to them on the phone, not even maybe 5 or 10 minutes to talk to them on the phone or give them support or show up at every function. But you can still, as a friend, show your support in other ways. But you have to ask yourself, are the people you desire to support from even capable of supporting you to the extent that they desire? So there was this blog post last week that came out, and I'm going to share it on the on my Info Bloom with Dr. Rose page, and my business page, Dr. Rose and Bloom, as well. But it was entitled, "Who's Really Clapping for You When You Win?" And there's a blogger, DJ and Devin is her name, that posted this, and I thought it was a very interesting read. And again, I'll post the whole thing online so you guys can read it. But she listed 5 reasons that you may not be getting the applause or the support that you need. And the first reason was maybe you have what that other person wants and they have no idea how to get it. Now that goes back to what I discussed a little earlier, how you can be a reflection for someone of what it is that they have not yet been able to achieve. And that can be quite intimidating and just hurtful to some folks. Again, not for you. That doesn't mean you play yourself down. Because over the years, I've known clients who have what I call played themselves down, which means not let their greatness shine fully in an effort to not intimidate those people closest to them. And you want to be careful not to do that, because if a person is intimidated by you, that's their struggle to work through, not for you to make yourself less intimidated. And Lenita says, me, she puts me up with exclamation points. So, be careful. Share you too. You don't play yourself down. That could have probably been a title of a Transformation Tuesday as well, huh? But because trust me, there's plenty of people in your life as they see you make these strides and achievements that may feel a bit intimidated, but that's not for you to at one moment slow your momentum down. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Number 2 is she's holding on to old pain, or that person, he, whoever is holding on to old pain that just won't allow them to celebrate you. And whatever that old pain may be, like I said, for some folks, it can be quite hurtful, emotionally hurtful for them to have to watch you achieve yet another goal in your life. Check another to-do thing off this list of life goals that you have. And it can be painful. And for them, it's easier for them to withdraw, not celebrate, or even poke holes in your accomplishments. How many of you have had people do that? Show me by hearts, if you've had people kind of poke holes in the things that you've achieved in life because of the fact that they have not been able to achieve that. And maybe snide remarks and things of that sort. So again, it's just a sign that person is holding on to old pain. And I see Drama Teacher can definitely relate to that. And another reason they may not be applauding you is you're boastful about all of your wonderful accomplishments. And some people may want to, as this blogger put it, punch you in the face, because you're boastful about it. Now, again, that's a very, I don't even call it a slippery slope, because I think we should celebrate when we achieve things. I don't think, again, you should play yourselves down. The people that I've known over the years who have made that just part of their lives, really playing themselves down so they don't make other people feel bad, is people who again, slow their momentum down. So celebrate it. How many of you love to go online and just celebrate something that you've accomplished? And I see someone says, on some level or another, you are touching my life, and I'm glad to hear that. Don't play yourselves down. When God has given you a gift, and when God has blessed you with the opportunity to achieve your goals and to go to that next level, it is just disrespectful to not celebrate that, in an effort to comfort someone's own insecurities. Another person's insecurity is not your issue. It's their journey to get past that. So you keep shining. Don't dull your shine. Flowers don't dull their bloom because there are weeds in the lawn. If flowers say, I'm not going to bloom this year because look at that weed over there that isn't able to have the beautiful petals that I have. Come on, that's ridiculous. So you never dull your shine or play yourselves down for others. And some people who will keep reminding you who you are and where you came from. How many of you have known people like that in your life? We'll talk about that a little bit. But those individuals, again, it's just difficult for them. And sometimes people are just not on your level. Now, one of the things I always point out with clients when I say people not on your level, it's not somebody's better than you or what have you. Just think people are at different levels, whatever you want to call it in life. Again, not above or below, just someplace different. And they may not even value what it is that you are promoting out there. Everyone in my life that I've known does not necessarily value personal transformation. They don't value conscious awareness. And that's okay. I respect that. And I respect the fact that they don't celebrate necessarily if I'm able to achieve different things that I've set out to achieve in my life. And the last one she stated, again, I'm going to post the link to this blog on my site, social media sites. The last one was she actually really doesn't like you. Frenemies, they're real. And a lot of people in our lives, stick around even though they may not like you any longer. We don't know why. Drama teacher, I missed what you said. If you can put it back up, I'd appreciate it. But we don't know why these individuals don't necessarily, or why they stay around if they don't really like us. For some people, they just don't want to feel like they're being left out. So they'd rather stay around someone that they don't like, or they'll like to kind of ride someone's coattails just in case they're able to benefit from it. And you want to be careful of individuals like that because, again, these are individuals that will continue to poke holes in what it is you're attempting to do. So how to stay motivated? Number one, understand that, and this was one of my favorite sayings. I don't know who said this, but I've been saying this now for probably almost 20 years. You cannot be a prophet in your own home. You can't be a prophet in your own home. What does that mean? Again, stop, your goal or your gift or your talent was not necessarily intended for the people around you. It's intended for the people who are going to benefit from it are the people who will show up in your life. So stop trying to convince everyone around you that they need to buy into whatever it is that you're selling. And I recently had this conversation with a client of mine, and I see drama teacher says the world is your playground. It is. The world is your playground. Not just the people on your street or neighborhood or people you went to high school with or your family of origin. Get out there. Get out there because you will, whatever that, again, gift or talent that you have, whatever it is that your passion is, the people who will benefit from that will show up and benefit from it. Number two, stop trying to make it right. Stop trying to make it right with people. Like I said, playing yourself down or figuring out why it is that they're having a difficult time supporting you. Or stop trying to prove other things to people, prove that they should be supportive. That's not necessarily their cup of tea, and that's fine. Like, the saying says, and there's a meme going around on Facebook, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but you would sure going to be a lot of people's shot of tequila. And that's just one way of kind of looking at it. And another way I look at this as well, you think about even the president of the United States, any president of the United States, at any given time that they're in office, 50% of the population aren't feeling them. Dislike them, have negative things to say, and it cannot stop your shine. You have to keep going ahead and keep doing what you need to do to bloom and grow and go to that next level. And lastly, join groups and organizations that share common interests and goals with you. So like this morning, once I finish this call, I'm on my way to a group that I was invited into, and it's a wonderful women's group that is probably about 100 members in there, and it's a group that we have a social agenda, and we work to do things collectively and very supportive, and people are able to be vulnerable and transparent there, and it's just a great environment to be in. Not about competition, not about, who's better than the other person. It's just about support. And there are groups and organizations you can find out there that you can plug into. And so just in closing, don't take it personal. It has very little to do with you when someone is not able to support you, and has more to do with where they are in their life. Doesn't make them a bad person. Doesn't make them somebody that you need to read the riot act to. It's just where they are, and respect where a person is at that time. Because if you have this goal and passion, your job is to just be putting energy and momentum into that, not trying to convince everyone to jump on board. And because also, you want to reevaluate your motivation for your goals. So like I told this woman in Phoenix, and I tell my clients all the time, if you're having a difficult time just going to that next level or continuing on what it is you want to do because people aren't being supportive, you have to reevaluate what your motivation is for doing what you want to do. Is it external? There's something in psychology, and I did a Transformation Tuesday on this before, and you can go back and search the podcast for it. But is your motivation extrinsic or intrinsic? Extrinsic motivation is, I'm doing all this because I want people to celebrate me. I want people to recognize me. Or is it intrinsic motivation? I'm doing all of this because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I have meaning in life, and that I'm achieving these goals, and that I'm living my destiny. Because the difference between the two is going to make a huge difference in how motivated you stay in achieving your goals, and the momentum that you continue to have and build in doing that. So check out and reevaluate your motivations. That's very important for you guys to do. So hopefully these different steps and feedback in regards to how to stay motivated when you don't feel supported in your goals has helped you guys. And I see the hearts coming, and thanks for that. I appreciate your feedback this week. If you haven't joined the In Full Bloom with Dr. Rose group on Facebook, please do, because we'll be talking about this and sharing different personal stories of others who've had this experience and what they can do to kind of just, again, keep that motivation up. And I see, thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the feedback. Glad you enjoyed it. So join me next week for another Transformation Tuesday. And this video, if you want to replay it, will be available on YouTube later on today. And thanks, Bag Lady. I appreciate your support and all you guys' support on Periscope as well as on the call as well. You guys get out there and live your life in full bloom. Bye-bye.